And again, my goal of this video is to hopefully help you maybe find some undervalued cards that's actually ahead of Kobe and LeBron. LeBron James, second on the player ranking, 13th on sales. Still undervalued? I mean, is Dominique Wilkins worth 4 times as much as Isaiah Thomas? Is there an opportunity there? Possibly. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Power Sports Memorabilia Show. I am your host, Matt Powers. Thank you again for joining me. Please visit the website, powersportsmemorabilia.com. Also, give me a follow over there on Instagram, at Powers Autographs. Well, if you are a basketball card stat junkie, then today's video is for you. I took the clutchpoints.com top 50 NBA all-time player list that was compiled back in December of 2020. And I looked at the average card price and PSA pop reports from those players' rookie cards listed to see if I can find some interesting statistics. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you all of those stats. Now, the Excel spreadsheet that contains all this data is uploaded onto my website. There's a link below in the video description to that sheet if you want to go ahead and download it and play with the numbers yourself. After we talk about some general statistics on the teams, players, and pop reports, I will get into some specific cards at the end of the video and see if we can find some opportunities there, all right? But before we get started, yes, I do realize any top 50 list like this are completely subjective, and where a player ranks doesn't necessarily mean it is a better rookie card to collect in most cases. However, this list was the most current one I could find. And it does have all the top guys that I would consider on there, and they were ranked, fairly consistent as to where I would have them. And it has Michael Jordan as number 1, so it's got to be a good list, right? So, in regards to the cards selected, the older guys are easy because they only have generally 1 rookie card in most cases. However, the newer guys, they were a little bit more challenging as they have, multiple rookie cards. So figuring out which one to put on this list was a little bit challenging. I added the card that I thought was most sought after by collectors, okay? And this would not be including any refractors or color parallels. It had to be a base card from a set. So for example, Topps Chrome, but not a Topps Chrome refractor, right? And also I went with the highest graded card that sold within the last 90 days. While some cards do have a PSA 10 that has been graded, if it hasn't sold in the last 90 days, then I just went to the next lowest grade and so forth until I found a grade that actually sold. And only PSA graded cards were considered to keep the list consistent. All this data is going to come from eBay and sports card investor software program Market Movers. Very easy to pull data from them. If you want to get access to data like this and be able to track your sports card investments, I highly suggest getting a membership with them. I love having it. I do have a 20% off discount code in the video description. Again, only purchase it if you plan on using it and it fits into your budget, okay? Not just because some guy on YouTube says to get it, all right? And lastly, like any statistical study, I will mention the possible shortcomings here. Number 1, in regards to the data on eBay, occasionally, as we know, a buyer may not pay for an order or they'll return it at a later date. eBay doesn't remove that data from its listings. So a few of these are probably going to have that factored into the data. However, typically, 90+% of orders, on eBay are paid and 100% legit, all right? And number 2, since not every card listed is a PSA 10, simply because one is not sold in the last 90 days. Some cards aren't really a apples to apples statistical comparison. I can only go off of what the data I have available to me, and that would be just the highest grade that sold over the last 90 days. And yes, there are some sales outside of eBay's platform that have sold for higher prices that are not including this data. For example, at Golden Auctions. So just to keep the data consistent, I only used eBay data. And again, my goal of this video is to hopefully help you maybe find some undervalued cards or look at them in a different statistical way. and also have some fun looking at these numbers. I mean, looking at numbers is always super, super fun and interesting, and it's crazy what you can find sometimes. So, all right, without any further wait, let's take a look at what I found. All right, let's talk about the teams that were found on this list. Now, note if a team is no longer around, such as the Seattle Supersonics, I combine their stats with the current team that they became, such as the Oklahoma City Thunder in this particular case. The team that most appeared on this list was the Boston Celtics 6 times, followed by the Lakers 5 times, and the Warriors and 76ers 4 times. As far as positions go, of the 50 players listed, 10 were centers, 23 forwards, and 17 were guards. And that's about what I expected, since forwards and guards make up about 80% of the positions on the court, and they made up 80% of the players on this list. Guards average $42,747 per rookie card, $19,380 when you take out Jordan. Forwards average $12,133. Centers average $81,292. Totally stunning there, right? Only $14,038 when you take out Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain. You take out Shaquille O'Neal, who was the lowest on that list, and the number jumps to $15,913. I was expecting centers to be the lowest on this list, especially since people say big guys don't sell. But very interesting to see them ahead of the forwards, even without Russell and Chamberlain. However, if you take out Abdul-Jabbar and O'Neal, it does drop to $3,500 below forwards. Most popular brand was Topps with 20, followed by Fleer with 14, and then Topps Chrome with 12. The Topps brand, if you include Bowman, since they own that brand now, made up of 68% of the cards on this list. The average value of cards, Fleer was $81,040. Topps Base, $26,929. Topps Chrome, $12,845. Most popular set was the 1986 Fleer, averaging $60,895 per card. Whoa. Although only $8,332 when you take out the Michael Jordan. 1957 Topps, another popular set, averaging $46,769 per card. $13,308 though when you take out Bill Russell. The 1969 Topps, another popular set, averaged $20,268, although only $9,180 when you take out Abdul-Jabbar. The average sales price per card, the lowest was Jason Kidd's 1994 Topps Finest at $370 per card. Highest was Wilt Chamberlain with a $500,000 sale. Whoa. 10 cards on this list that only sold once over the last 90 days. The highest we sold was Shaquille O'Neal's 1992 Topps with 223 sales. The average card sold 17 times over the last 90 days, so once every 5 days. In regards to the pop reports, the lowest on this list was Willis Reed's 1969 Topps PSA 8.5 with a pop of 6. The highest, Shaquille O'Neal's 1992 Topps with 2,407. The average pop report per card was $359 for the grade of that card that was sold in the last 90 days. For grading, 56% of the cards on this list had a PSA 10 sell in the last 90 days. The lowest grade to sell was a PSA 5 of George Mikan. Retired players made up 90% of the players on this list with an average selling price of $38,108. Current players, $19,740. Deceased players make up 16% with an average sales price of $75,366. Living players, $28,825. Top 5 most popular cards when taking the average sales price times the total number of sales are the following. Number 1 through 5, Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, Kareem, and Kevin Durant. Very interesting to see Kevin Durant on this list, but I guess that's not surprising since he's been a very popular pickup over the last year or so with a potential title run in the works. Top 5 toughest players rookie cards to find on this list: Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, Oscar Robertson, Julius Erving, and Bob Cousy. Easiest? Shaquille O'Neal, Tim Duncan, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and John Stockton. When looking at the average dollar per pop account, so average sales price divided by the current pop report, the top 5 players, rookie cards from this list commanding the highest values are Wilt Chamberlain, Oscar Robertson, Bill Russell, Michael Jordan, and Stephen Curry. The bottom 5, Jason Kidd, David Robinson, Gary Payton, Tim Duncan, and Shaquille O'Neal. All right, now that we've got some of those introductory stats out of the way, let's talk about some specific cards and the interesting stats that some of them have, all right? In relation to his player ranking, Stephen Curry has had some massive sales, all right? He's ranked 32 right now overall in the player rank, but number 7 when it comes to the average sales price. Interesting enough, that's actually ahead of Kobe and LeBron. Now, much of this has to do with the extremely low pop of his Topps Chrome card, which is currently at only 60. But still very surprising to see Stephen Curry at so high on this sales chart. I was definitely not expecting to see that. Another interesting note when it comes to pop reports is how high Shaquille O'Neal is in regards to his overall player ranking at 8, but 47th in average sales price. So he's either extremely undervalued or hindered by his pop report of 2,407 and possibly the lack of a Topps Chrome rookie card. I mean, what do you think Shaq would be on this list if he did have a Topps Chrome card? All right, Dominique Wilkins is another interesting one. He's 43rd on the player ranking, however, 16th in overall sales. Now, this is due to him having his rookie year in 1986 and being part of that iconic 1986 Fleer set. You know, obviously, whenever you see a player like this, a popular set like this, picking up Hall of Famers from that year is always a good idea. Extreme value there. 2003 Topps Chrome comes to mind. Tim Duncan, 9th on the overall player list, yet only 35th on sales. High pop report of 2,360 hurt him despite it being a Topps Chrome rookie card. Now let's touch on that for just a brief second here. Players that have their sales ranking a fair amount below their player ranking, right? Here is that list. LeBron James, 2nd on the player ranking, 13th on sales. Still undervalued? I would probably say yes. David Robinson, 17th as a player, only 46 in sales, and a pop of 711 on his Hoops card. Is he undervalued or just not cool enough of a player to collect? He's the only guy on this list with a Hoops card. Jason Kidd, we talked about him a little bit earlier there, 28th as a player, yet dead last in sales. His 1994 finest with a pop of only 207 as a PSA 10. Average sales price of $370. Now, I know Kidd isn't probably the most popular player, but, he's still in the limelight as a Lakers assistant coach, 10-time All-Star. Flashy player, too. I think it would be worth picking him up just to hold long-term and kind of see what happens. At that price, it isn't too much of a risk to do that. Players I was shocked to see not ranked higher on the average sales price. Kevin Garnett, very popular player. However, only $1,479 average sales price for his Topps finest. Could it be the lack of a Topps Chrome card in that he has a million other rookie cards out there? Only a 449 pop, though, for that particular card. His Topps finest is just an odd-looking card of his face. He's not in uniform, and just not my favorite-looking card. David Robinson, again, just a player people aren't into collecting. Not a flashy player. 1,023 average sales with a 711 pop. And the Hoops brand card might just be holding him back a little bit. John Stockton, 42nd in average sales price. I mean, how is this guy not higher? I'm a huge John Stockton fan, obviously. Dream Teamer, Hall of Famer, definitely one of the best point guards of all time. I loved watching Stockton. Watching him and Karl Malone was just iconic. You know, that series with Jordan when Jordan pushed off Ryan Russell, that was just such a fun series to watch. Now, didn't win any title or any significant awards, though, and his lack of media appearances could probably be hurting him, but obviously also a very reclusive person. But I love John Stockton. I mean, I would be just love to have one of his cards in my collection. Now let's talk about non-popular players. You know, guys like Dave Cowens, Dolph Shays, guys that were great players. They just aren't at the level of the main guys people normally collect. Very interesting to see their low pop numbers, but very low average sales. Dolph Shays, 1,444 PSA 8, pop 39. Bob McAdoo, 2,376 for the PSA 9, pop only 67. You know, will these lesser named players catch up to some of the bigger names? I mean, are they underappreciated? Definitely see an opportunity with players like this for sure. Dominique Wilkins was an interesting card stat on this list with his 1986 Fleer. While a great player, you know, the human highlight, you know, he's 15th in sales at 18,333 for that 86 Fleer. PSA 10 grade, very low pop of only 92. Is that card sort of inflated due to it being part of the 1986 Fleer set? Maybe. Speaking of that 1986 Fleer set, let's take a look at Isaiah Thomas. His rookie card from that year, PSA 10 pop of only 183, but a $4,541 average sales price. I mean, is Dominique Wilkins worth 4 times as much as Isaiah Thomas? And the Thomas pop report's only double Wilkins, though. So that's a very interesting card to take a look at there. Ranking those 1986 Fleer cards in average sales, all right? Most expensive, Jordan, followed by Wilkins, Barkley, Olajuwon, Malone, Ewing, Drexler, and then Isaiah Thomas. In order of the lowest population, all right? Wilkins, Ewing, Thomas, Malone, Barkley, Drexler, Jordan, then Olajuwon. Seems to be some value available for guys like Ewing, Thomas, and Malone. Ewing played in one of the biggest markets in the world for basketball in New York. Thomas won NBA championships with the Detroit Pistons and arguably some of the best NBA teams of all time. And Malone is just one of the best players of all time, in my opinion. Granted, probably he didn't win a championship, so that definitely hurt him. But dream teamer and just an overall great player. And of course, playing with Stockton. Again, Malone is just not really in the limelight either, and he's not as popular as the guys you would think that people should have in their collection. To me, while Wilkins is a great player, he is the lowest player rank on this list at 43. Malone and Thomas are in the top 25, and Ewing is number 30. And one player that has been kind of hot in the card market lately has been Russell Westbrook. Lots of discussion if he is undervalued. Many collectors aren't too keen on collecting him despite his impressive stats. He hasn't won really anything. Not an extremely likable guy in most cases. 41st in player ranking, 42nd in sales with a 1,501 average selling price for his Topps Chrome PSA 10, but a very low population report of 116. Is there an opportunity there? Possibly. But I think a lot has to be done to see that card get over $3,000. I mean, a lot has to be done to see that happen. So, again, hope you guys liked this video. It took me, many hours putting together these stats. My 3-year-old kept coming up to me on Saturday morning and having me change the, clothes on her dolls every 10 minutes. So it took me a lot longer than expected putting together all these stats. I was thinking of doing something similar for baseball and football cards, but let me know in the comments below if I should do a video like that. What did you think of these stats? Anything stand out to you that maybe I missed out on? And again, feel free to download that Excel spreadsheet off of my website and play around with the numbers yourself. The link to that is below in the video description. And if you like this video, please feel free to like and share it and subscribe to the channel. Definitely always appreciate that. Visit the website, powersportsmemorabilia.com, and give me a follow over there on Instagram at PowersAutographs. Thank you for watching. I will see you on the next episode.